What's up, guys? We are back with another Mythic Legions review, taking a look at the second day of the Legions Con exclusive stuff. So the first day was a single figure, the second day is a 2-pack. So we're taking a look at the exclusive version of the Furious 4 set. So it's 4 because you can make 4 figures out of the parts here. Technically 5 because we do get extra stuff in this particular con-only exclusive. Now this is a tribute set to the guys that run the My Wife Is Gonna Kill Me podcast, so that's why there are 4 of them. Kind of themed after each one of them. It comes in the same kind of box that we saw with the Unknown one, so same kind of style. Figures there in the window, Legion's logo, nameplate down there. That Nate Barch artwork that wraps around the whole thing. You've got the Mythos right up on one side. You've got the Arethyr faction on the other. And then the back of the box gives us that huge print spread that he did for the convention of the individual characters as well as their bio cards. So let's do it. Let's pull them out and take a look.
And here we go, out of the package, our Mythic Legions Legions Con exclusive Furious 4. So this is a 2-pack that, if you got it from the convention, makes 5 different figures based on the heads that you get. Of course, I got multiple sets, so I can make the 4 core, and we'll talk about the 5th one later on as well. But these are the actual tribute figures based on the My Wife Is Gonna Kill Me podcast, guys. So we've got Lord Bushati the Alpha, Praetorian, Pelvicus, and Uwit. They're all members of the Fury clan, which is why we've got a red color scheme theme going on here. You know, if we can do something like this, certainly down the road, maybe we'll get an orange skeleton. I don't know who I'm thinking of, but maybe we'll get an orange skeleton. That'd be fun, right? But I'm pretty excited about these because, well, frankly, the name of the game with this thing is like pop and swap when it comes to Legions, because there's a ton of stuff in this package. There's a lot of old parts. There's a lot of new parts here. So it's a really interesting mix of stuff. I mean, you can just take a look. You can see that the parts on these guys kind of run the gamut from throughout Legion's history up until current stuff, basically. So there's a lot to go with here. And of course, there's a lot of new red parts if you want to kind of dress up some of your Fury clan orcs also as you integrate all this stuff together. So let's pull 3 of these guys aside, and we're going to take a look at Articulation. They're all the same, essentially. So we'll take a look at Articulation, see what they can do as far as maybe someone who's a little bit unfamiliar with Legions, and then we'll dig deeper into these guys. Now, as far as moving these guys around, they're all similar. They're not exactly the same. I'm not going to run through 4 figures when they're almost all identical. Some have older parts, some have newer parts when it comes to the actual limbs. Like Pelvicus here has older limbs, whereas, say, Praetorian has newer limbs. So the variance in Articulation is there, but it's slight. So as far as moving them around, you know, general 1.0 stuff, we've got a head that can look up, they can look down. This guy is a little bit different because he does have an articulated jaw, so that's a little bit unique. You've got tilt side to side, you've got full rotation, arms out at the shoulders, they of course rotate. We've got single jointed rotating elbows, you've got swiveling wrists, you've got hinges and rotation at the wrist as well. Sorry, swiveling forearms there. Now, torsos are, of course, a single piece, so they go backwards and forwards a little bit. You do have a little bit of bobble side to side, and it's your swivel point for rotation. Legs go out about, I mean, it's not full splits, but it's really close. They do all have sort of a lot of skirt pieces and just stuff in the way. They kick forward really nicely, though. They kick backwards. You've got your thigh twist up there. We've got single jointed rotating knees, basically 90 degrees. We've got swivel at the ankle itself, since it's a separate piece that pegs up into the ankle. And then you've got rocker, and we've got some hinges down there also. So if you've messed with a 1.0 style Legions figure, you're going to get, you know, multiple 1.0 examples. But if not, you get a pretty good idea of what all 4 of these figures are capable of. Now, when it comes to the visuals, the design on these guys, we're going to stick to just these 2 because this is how they come in the box. So if you only get 1, these are the figures that you're going to pull out. And these are the configurations of parts that we get by default. Now, like I said, there's a lot of new and there's a lot of old with these as well. It depends on which one you're talking about, how far you're going to go back. But we've got a lot of old on. This one is Lord Bushati the Alpha. What is he the Alpha of exactly? I don't know. And we've got quite a bit of new stuff on Praetorian here. Like, there's a lot of Alithia parts across both. We've got Arethyr parts, and we've got just classic parts. It's weird to say classic Legions parts at this point. But I really, really like these default loadouts for these figures. And I've said it a number of times, when it comes to the pop and swap aspect of Legions, I always find myself really wanting to do it, but I just never really get around to it. Or if I do, I want to put them back to the way they're supposed to be. Something about those default sort of parts loadouts is what I really, really like with this line. But there is no doubt that the big selling point for this set is the fact that you can just break these figures down and you've got a literal ton of options here. So we've got obviously a lot of reds and a lot of blacks, and that's the name of the game here, red and black. And of course, we're playing this off of the fact that these are members of the Fury clan. So if you've got a Fury clan orc, you kind of know what to expect there, reds and blacks. And apparently anything can be a Fury clan member. You don't have to be an orc. They are equal opportunity when it comes to who they're going to take. You can be a furious, screaming idiot in any race, creed, nationality, whatever you want. And I think it's pretty cool that we did get, various types here. So we've got, kind of like a gladiator helmet here, so Romulus type of stuff. We've got like Krotos. This is his tunic, and this of course is one of the newer torsos, so it's got the chest plate feature, so you can pop that plate off. We've got some classic armor here with this really, really deep red. It's not exactly the same color as the Fury Clan orc, and some of these colors kind of come and go when it comes to how close they're going to match to that original Fury Clan member, but I don't think that's a big issue, really. Red is red, right? So this is a little bit of a deeper red, but I think these colors really, really work, and they're different too, so they're not that common in this line. I do still love this helmet. There's tons of detail. You've got, what we've seen a lot of lately is a lot of silver dry brushing on black or dark helmets, and I really like it on this helmet. I think it works really nicely. You've got your sort of standard knight's feet and ankles and gloves and hands here. And then Praetorian, of course, brings back our Minotaur head, which we haven't seen in a little while, right? There's only two others, Asterion and Torion, unless I'm misremembering. He's got a Vorthog torso here, or Magnus also, right? And then we've got new parts in terms of like just the clothed bodies that we've seen in Ilithia. So he's got just sort of, a shirt on underneath, and he's got pants. And this is one of those figures that has, slight bit better range on his parts just because some of that newer stuff. He's got that big, massive belt and girdle, which I really like. Of course, we've got hooves down here. We do get extra feet with this set also, which we'll talk about. But I really like his color in particular. I think it very much matches with the Fury Clan orc a little bit better. And then you've got these sort of piercing yellow eyes. And I've said it a lot, I love pupilless eyes on a figure, and it makes him look a little bit more evil. Also, we do get some style pose hands default on this guy in the box. So you've got red style pose hands. If you want to use those for your Fury Clan orc, you have the option. So there's a lot of potential here. I'm curious how much into the popping and swapping I'm going to get with this. Frankly, I'm going to tell you right now, I'll probably check out the Dorklair video whenever he gets around to doing his, assuming it isn't already up by the time I'm recording this, because he's probably going to disassemble every single piece of these guys and bring them together in some sort of crazy new combination. Because there is a lot of options here. There's a lot of good parts on these. Paint, sculpt, is everything you would expect to get from Legions, just in a new and very red colorway. Now, as far as accessories goes, there are a lot. There's a lot of accessories in this box. I think you can understand why. We already get a bunch of stuff with Legions figures as is, but when you put two figures in that are meant to make four, accessories just kind of creep up really, really quick. So I've got 4 figures here loaded out, so they've all got pauldrons, they've got extra stuff on them to some degree. We can talk about what you can do to change these guys up. So on Uwit here, we've got he's basically a red Vorthog, right? So we've got the Vorthog pauldrons on him, which I think look tremendous. I love these. But they look great in this particular color scheme. He has been given the feet that come in this set also, so he would have had hooves on him because he's a Minotaur by default in the box. So you pop the Uwit head on him, put some feet on him, he becomes a more normal orc kind of guy. As far as Pelvicus goes, I have changed him out with some pauldrons. We've seen these pauldrons in the Ilithia wave, so the more leather style, but they look really good with that super shiny finish. I think it looks good in comparison to the rest of the body. And then I fitted him with the cape. And this is a standard Legion's cape. It does feel a little better in terms of material. I think it's whatever has been done to make it sort of disgusting. But it does feel a little bit better. It has no wire. It's, it's old school. But it's tattered and it's dirty at the bottom. I think it looks really good. I think it works best with him, at least for me. I think it works best with Pelvicus. Something about the red skeleton dude having the cape and the bloody cape, dirty cape, works really well. For Lord Bushati, all I've done for him, thus far is give him the pauldrons. He's got the same ones, because this is the loadout. This kind of pauldron was pictured with this body, so I've just sort of stuck with it for now. And you've got more of those, so another set for him. Of course, this is across 2 different sets we're dealing with at the moment. And then for Pitorion, he's got a couple things changed up. So he's got the pauldrons on him also. He gets the collar piece that we get with Belphegor, so the sort of demon collar. I'm not the biggest fan of this thing being on this figure. I feel like it fits it only barely, because it came with Belphegor, and he's a bare-chested figure. This torso is a little bit deeper, so it does fit on him, but I think it's maybe a little bit on the tight side. He also has a tail. I believe this is Borier's tail. I want to say it is. So you got a tail pop in there. I would suggest maybe heating it up if you're concerned about it. I did have to heat my tail up just to make sure. We don't want any Krampus-style tail mishaps to occur. Now, we do get a few other things that aren't weapons. We get some hands. We get a set of hands. So these are just gripping, Fury Orc-style hands, just red hands, which work really well because Pitorion and Uit, whichever one you want to refer to, come with style pose hands in the box. You get a set of red straps, because of course the red guys need red straps, and these aren't all that common anymore. Black Knight came with them, right? And then we can throw this guy in. So I said I have 3 sets, that makes 6 figures, but there is definitely parts for a full-on 5th figure. This is what is exclusive to the set, outside of the box. So you get a red Jagualian head too. So think of, Kauros, Purplor, Balam, those figures. So it's that head, painted red with some yellow eyes. I think the eyes are kind of cartoony. They look a little too bright for me, but I do think this head looks cool. I'm really looking forward to using it. I'm not sure that it's going to go on one of these bodies yet, because I've got some custom ideas for these. And then he also comes with a tail also. So both bodies have the tail hole on the back, for lack of a better word. And then, of course, we do get a bunch of weapons. There's a whole bunch of stuff, too. So we get a shield. Just a standard shield. This is the one that has the runes all around it. Just that sort of gunmetal color. No real paint on that. We get a mace. It's more of that gunmetal with the silver dry brushing, but a black handle. Get that guy. We get a spear, because, why not? It wouldn't be legions if you didn't have like 8,000 spears. We get this sword, which I really, really like. We've got it in a few colorways now, in a few various ways, but I really like this one. And we get a more traditional sword that if you have been collecting long enough, you have dozens of these. Just a standard sword. And then we also get one of the newer accessories. So this is the staff that came with Krotos, if I remember correctly. So like a shamanistic kind of staff. This is the one that Uit was pictured with mostly in the promo images, where he doesn't have pauldrons on, and he looks less armored than the others when he has that. So they've got this for him also. So I think you can kind of play around with that. You've got a good cross-section of weapons here when it comes to that. Multiple swords, spear, mace, shield, wizard type of staff. There's a lot of stuff in this set. You get soft goods, you get extra hands, you get tails, you get multiple heads. There's 5 heads in each box. So all of these heads came in the same package, but you do need 2 full sets to make all 4, or in this case 5 figures, because you need those bodies. But otherwise, there are a lot of pieces here. There's a lot of stuff to deal with. Again, it's kind of overwhelming when you get all of this stuff. There is a lot of parts swapping, a lot of just different options you can deal with when it comes to messing with these guys, parting them out, changing them up, doing what you want to do, or just go with the flow and make them how they've already sort of advertised them. But this is definitely a very pop and swap friendly, and I can't stress that enough, kind of set. So yeah, overall, really, really happy with this set. Again, the name of the game is just options, and there's a lot of options with this set. Even if you don't really want to do that, you still have a handful of things you can easily swap in and out to change up the looks of these figures. But if you really want to get crazy with it, there's just so much stuff in these boxes. I really like the idea that you can have, if you have enough sets, you can have an entire squad of evil looking red dudes in minutes. We can have all 5 of them, including that Jagualian head, throw them with some Fury Clan orcs, and you've got yourself a little army of just angry red guys. So it's pretty cool. I like the variety of heads that they chose. I like the color scheme. I like the parts we've got here. And of course, there's also the community aspect of it, where they brought in the My Wife Is Going to Kill Me podcast guys to be able to kind of give them this tribute and have them be part of Mythos in this small way. So that's going to do it for this look at the Mythic Legions Con exclusive Furious 4 2-pack. Let me know what you guys think. Feel free to like, comment, subscribe, and share, and until next time.